Hello, hello, hello. We are back in it today, finally, after a little bit of an extended weekend. We're in it to win it. I certainly had an eventful weekend, primarily consisting of working on an old computer, which is going to be very beneficial in the future. At least for me personally. Not necessarily to speak to stream or anything, but just for me personally, having the secondary computer, the entire purpose of it is to get a dedicated Minecraft server going. Well, not the entire purpose, but that's its main, I guess, test, if you will. So I don't have to pay for any service to have a Minecraft server. Oh wow, we have the Strun this week. Yeah, I don't have to pay for any server. That's part of it. Other half being having like like a local storage backup drive. That's going to be really nice as well. And having servers for games not just Minecraft, but any game that I would want. Our World comes to mind. That requires a dedicated server, so I could theoretically be hosting that as well off the same machine. Thorin, Optering machine. Good exterminate alchemy mirror defense. Looks fine. Yeah, the other half of my weekend though was commission work and also attending a friend's birthday celebration. Yeah, like I said, for those who don't know, I do artwork, I do commissions, mainly it is graphical design, primarily for now. I eventually want to branch out into illustration as I get good enough to do so. But I had like 3 different people jump on me this weekend, be like, hey, I need something done. And who am I to turn down money? So that consisted of Sunday and Monday. And I'm still not even done with those either, so... Just a lot of shit going on where it's just like, I don't have the energy to stream, or I physically cannot stream, because I am preoccupied. But I mean, hey, we get back into it, and we're just given the Strun for free, so... Happy about that one. Easy, easy ETA, whatever. But how are we all doing tonight? I hope you all have had a wonderful weekend. And also, I'm not in a hurry to stream much Warframe content, primarily because we're kind of in a lull. Like, there really isn't much going on in the sphere at the moment, so I'm pretty content taking it easy. I'll probably ramp up once we get, more actual content to do. When the update comes around June. We also have the dev stream there as well. They announced the dev stream already, which is a little bit surprising. May 29th. So everyone mark your calendars. It's gonna be a busy weekend for me, actually, now that I think about it. Because I am doing something on the 30th, I believe. Have an outing planned for that day. I'm going to a horse race track. I think it is the first, I think it's the first races of the year that they're doing there, if I recall correctly, at least of, like, the main season, anyway. Because I know they do, like, smaller things here and there. They do some snow stuff. They race dogs in that track area as well, I think. So it's a whole bunch of stuff they got going on in that space, but... I am interested in horses. For no reason in particular, none at all. Just decided on a whim. Complete innocence. You know, something that something that I've really been thinking about lately, as I've been looking at, like, I guess the way discourse is handled in other games, and, like, you know, other games that, you know, might have, like, a competitive scene, or aren't strictly PvE. Something that kind of made me realize something with Warframe is how hard it is to have discourse about whether or not an item or a warframe or a weapon is quote-unquote good. Right? There's a couple reasons for that. The main one is that, again, obviously, it is because the game is PvE, so there's no real pressure to have a metagame. It's a lot of, you know, individuality. Like hell, I would barely call this like a co-op game, because it's more just like 4 people playing the same game in one space, you know? There's very little reason to interact with one another in a given mission. Outside of, like, you know, buffing each other for one reason or another. But again, no competition, no PvP, no incentive structure in that sense, means that there's no reason for a quote-unquote metagame to evolve. And I think that that is one of the primary reasons why Warframe is so hard to talk about, like, if something is objectively good or not. Because in theory, every, you know, piece or item in the game can do content. And it's like, can some do it more efficiently than others? Yes, but, like, there's kind of this threshold in Warframe where it's like, okay, yeah, this does 1 billion damage, but this other one does 2 billion damage. So yeah, that one's technically better, but, like, does that extra billion on top of your 1 billion, or, like, make the difference? No, it doesn't, because they're all dead anyway. So it's like, the high end is too high end to realistically compare to each other, and there's not a lot of low end to speak of. So defining what is good in this game is so difficult, because I feel like a lot of people have their own metrics as to, like, how they would judge a weapon. It's like, oh, is it easy to build and effective for low investment? Then, like, oh yeah, like, this weapon is going to be better than this other one, even if it maybe has, like, a lower ceiling, right? Like let's just, like, make up an example, a hypothetical scenario. Let's take the MK1 Strun, right? And then we'll take the Brat. Okay, so say, like these are the contentious weapons right now. And, well, people will argue, well, the Bratton is easier to build, you only need to put 1 Forma in it for it to be effective at what it does, so therefore the Bratton is better. But if you were to put an equal amount of Forma into the Strun and Bratton, the Strun might come out on top. And there are people who judge whether a weapon is or not is good that way. Which I think is really fair, because it's like, oh, well, if every weapon can do 1 billion damage, it's more about which weapons can hit that 1 billion damage with the least amount of effort, and I think that that's a fair assessment. But I personally don't like to view it that way. I think that that's a little bit of a narrow way of thinking. And I know that there's a lot of people, I think that that's actually, like, a pretty common sentiment, is that, you know, if the easier it is to build, you know, the quote-unquote, the better it is. Because, like, you look at what the Torrid does, right? And it's like, yes, what the Torrid does is very strong, comparative to a lot of its contemporaries, but I don't think the Torrid realistically has a, like, the highest ceiling of any weapon right now. I don't think that's true at all. I think that the Torrid is the easiest... It is a crossover of the easiest and strongest weapon currently. Which is why it's favored. But I do think that, again, depending on how you look at it, there are weapons that can beat it out. I think the Latron is really strong. The Strun Prime is really strong. I do think the Kit Gun, the Tentacle Kit Gun is really, really strong. It is very much like the Torrid and has some advantages over it, like not having a downtime. And also, I think it has a higher disposition. I'm not entirely sure on that one. Don't quote me on that. If it doesn't, I eat dick. And back to my point, though. I think that's why the Torrid is so dominant at the moment, and why people say, oh, it's the best weapon, because it's, you know, it is the highest ratio of investment to reward that you can have for a singleton weapon. But again, like I said, oh, that doesn't necessarily mean that the Torrid has the highest ceiling for a weapon, which is where you really start to have to ask yourself, you know, is it really the best? If investment was not a factor, how would our perception of warframes and weapons change? I think that's a very huge consideration that not a lot of people think about. Is that investment isn't always, you know, an indicator of, oh, is this actually the best? It makes you stop and consider. And also, the other side of why this is a really hard discussion to have is because a lot of people play at very different levels of the game, you know? Some people only play it, like, only play at base path. Some people don't even have skill path necessarily unlocked, and yet they participate in discussion, and I think that, you know, what is good for them might not be good for, you know, people who are on skill path, and I think that that is still a valid thing, you know? Oh, is this weapon, like, super accessible and good, and does it work for, you know, base path better than, you know, investing in, say, like, I don't know, a Zaw or something compared to, like, oh, a random Prime melee? I think that there's arguments to be made there, and I think that it's both equally valid. And then, like I said, you have the other end of the spectrum where there are people who play for level cap, and like, that's a lot more extreme, where level cap has so much more cutoff for what is considered viable, and people who tend to play around level cap or much higher level content in general tend to have a much narrower view of what is actually good, based more primarily not on investment but the actual ceilings of said option. So that's another, like, divergent aspect of, you know, oh, is this weapon considered good? Well, it's now you have, like, 5 different answers, and all of them could be completely different because of how varied the spaces are in this game, or, like, just niches. Like, niches also exist, you know, Eidolon Hunt. I'm sure that Eidolon hunting has specific weapons that are only good there and not necessarily good otherwise. I know for a long time, the Lanka in Eidolon hunting was one of the best weapons for it, but had absolutely no purpose inside the base game, generally speaking, because it just, like, wasn't good for that. It was just good for, oh, this weapon can do a lot of damage with a ribbon, so it fits this specific niche. It has radiation in the base damage, or I think it's electricity. It's either one of those, but it was basically the optimal, ideal stat stick for Eidolon killing. And so the Lanka was top dog for that. Again, I think that that's probably changed by now. I'm sure there's better. Or maybe not, who knows. But that is an entirely separate topic. My point is that there are niches in the game as well that further muddy what could be considered a good weapon or warframe. Because, like I said, this also can apply to warframes too, you know? There's some people who think, oh, well, this warframe is really good, But, like, you know, they may not realize that, you know, oh, it falls off harder in Steel Path. So it's, you know, not nearly as viable for that. And it's because people don't realize, you know, how much harder it is to survive at much higher level. You know, there are people who don't do, like, these long-term survivals and thus don't have that perspective, or don't need to have that perspective, because that's not the content that they do. So maybe their answer is valid for what they do use their choices for. Like, if your only thing is day out and day out, you know, you get in, do your weeklies, get out. Like, I'm kind of in that, but I still do a lot of higher level content, then, you know, like, your answers for what is good and what isn't might change dramatically. Because, like I said, it's not always about the ceiling. But I think either way you look at it, it's so hard to have a conversation of, oh, this weapon is good. Well, oh, well, it's good in what sense? You know, you really have to clarify that, I think, when you are making discussion about, you know, oh, this weapon is good. Well, it's really good. Okay, it's really good for what? You know, I think that should kind of be this, you know, pejorative that we work into our discussions. Pejorative? I don't even know if that's the right word for that. Anyways, I think that's kind of all I have to say on that. But it's something that I've always, like, had in the back of my mind, you know? It's like, whenever I'm making a video where it's like, oh, this weapon is really good, well, it's like, okay, good by what standard? Like what do people consider good? Because I might consider this weapon really good, but there are people who do entirely different forms of content than me that might think it's, oh, this weapon is bad. And you really have to consider that if if you create content yourself, or, again, like I said, you're just having a discussion about it. You have to consider in what context these things are good in. Yeah, you're also right that Riven's muddy the conversation quite a lot. I think that is a very fair point. Not as much, mind you. I don't think Rivens are nearly as big of a factor as just having different forms of content that are spoken about. Like I said, Swordies versus, like, Archimedia are, like, two completely different games, right? Or at a more extreme end, like, Equinox is the best Warframe in the game at super low level. But that is completely not true the higher you scale. Like, at any low level, like, anything at, like, Earth or Venus or Mercury, or probably, like, maybe into Mars, Equinox is probably the best frame in the game. Purely because Maim, the base damage of Maim when they enter Maim's aura, does enough that it one-shots most enemies at that level. So, you are quite literally, like, a nuke that is stronger than, like, by comparison, Equinox is the strongest Warframe in the game relative to a given level. It's gonna take forever to kill, Jesus. Probably put down a Spectre. Why is this thing so hard to fucking kill? Taking forever. There we go, gee. That was way too much. Oh. Yum yum. For runes. Runes. Feed the vitriol. Buffy. Locksword. There we go. Optering. I really do love that they added coptering. But I think that the Zoran Prime, just for its flavor, might be one of my favorite Prime weapons to come out in, like, the past couple of years. Just because of, like, how it like what it is kind of referential to. I think that's just so cute. That they decided to just, oh yeah, you know, the weapon that was most famous for coppering now has that as a passive in its Prime form. I said I really wish they went out of their way to make primes a little bit more interesting like that more often. Like the Caliban Prime Sniper is like a really good example of like, oh, just make primes have like cool passives and shit. They need to start getting more creative with primes. Oh, we moved over. Oops. I'm a fucking moron. we had an update on the Palworld lawsuit at any point recently? I feel like I haven't heard anything about that, and I'm very curious. Because frankly, I'm quite invested in the outcome of that. I need to see Nintendo lose. You guys need to understand that. Nintendo, like, has to lose. I really want to see them just bite their own shit. So badly. Nintendo needs to learn that they can't just shove their lawyers down any given person's throat and expect to, you know, get what they want out of it. Really bothers me how bold they've gotten with that. And that I hope that Palworld is finally them just getting bit in the ass for it. Because, by God, they deserve it so much. I don't think my build can get better than this. So I'm looking at it like, you know, I really feel like I need some more power strength in it. So with like Sirius and Orion, something that's been kind of sitting in the back of my mind is it's like, one, are like, how are we getting them as Warframes? And two, are they going to be separate, or is it going to be an Equinox situation? Because that's what I'm really curious about. Like, are we just gonna straight up get two separate Warframes this update? If so, how is that going to work? Could we get a squad? Got one guy. Time to get energy. Hydroid. Something I kind of wonder is, how is Hydroid these days? Like, he got his rework, like, you know, the big coveted Hydroid rework, like, I think it was like a year or two ago. But we're now kind of looking at him as, like, is he still, like, viable? Like, does that rework hold up with all the changes that the game has gone through since he got it? Because, like, we know for a fact that Corrosive, as a status, has gotten worse, right? So it really makes me wonder, like... Oh, there goes Uriel, Jesus Christ. Quite literally a bat out of hell. Goodness gravy. up, God. What is that fucking laser beam? Who is shooting that? Where are the enemies? No, actually, like, where the fuck are the enemies? What the hell? Where did they go? Side camp. Find them. No, they can't be, because what the fuck is over there? Well, here are some guys in here. I think we're ever gonna die of that spore damage over there. Because it is ticking up gradually, which is funny. $38, $340. They have to die at some point, right? Oh, the drone was just like in squad area. That's funny. What is getting damaged over? Figure that out. Like enemies trapped all the way over there or something. Really weird. Normally they'd be teleported over here. The crazy thing. Like they're not. but he's down. What the fuck weapon is that? I can't tell. Get this guy out of here. The fuck is with the enemy spawns though? This is so weird. They feel like really slow. Kinda confused as to what's going on there. I got it, I got it. I'm still trying to figure out what the fuck this big beam is that they're shooting. I cannot for the life of me figure it out. What a Bassus is not that. It's not Alternox. It's not Pullman. That thing right there. What is that? Hydra. What fucking ability is that? I really don't know. It's an ability or it's a weapon or it's something. Yeah, that big old beam that he's got. There we go. All done. Into the chamber we go. Open the box, please. It really does bother me that you can't pop it as it's coming up, although I probably understand why. It's most likely so that the items inside don't get, like, lost to the floor and you're just kind of fucked. Because I could easily see that happening if you were able to pop the container while it was going up. But, like, at least let us get close to it, you know? Like, they have this whole invisible wall thing when it's still, you know, coming up to this. Always kind of bothered me. Well, we have for demo stuff, now it's just EDA. Yeah, they're always gonna mix. You know, there we go. Hopefully, I want to get some relic grinding out of the way tonight, later. Hopefully we have a good fisher for once. Because every time I've wanted to go do it on stream, like, there have been no good fishers for it at all. And it's really sucked. into Holvania. Man, I really hope that they do go back to Holvania at some point. Or at least, like, this whole concept. Like, maybe not Holvania in particular, but, like, another place... Like, another place, another time that's, like, very Earth-like. I'm really just such a fan of that. I wish they would just go back to it. I'd kill for him to do that. Alright, what hell awaits us today, chat? Oh boy, assassination. Good. Hey, defense, extermination. And fucking tastic. Overlook. I am looking at Dante this week. Give the dual Viscase. Wow, broken. Wow, we got some broken weapons. Axe Stilettos too. Axe Stilettos is a classic. Oh man, I remember when the Axe Stiletto Prime was like the guy for secondary. Like this on a secondary, that was the shit. That was it. That was like the be-all, end-all. That was the secondary of the century right there. I think it still does hold out pretty strong, though. Like, I think it is still a fine weapon. It just kind of gets mogged by, like, weapons with better, damage spreading, I guess is the word. Oh, look at this cape. Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. Shimmy, 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 shimmy. I swear this version of the cape feels like it has better physics. I don't know if I'm just, like, making up bullshit, but, like, I swear on... Oh, is that a gear embargo? Aww. Sure, you all get overguard forever. All the energy regen. You know, the crazy thing about Dante's Deluxe is I don't even know if I'm gonna like it. Like, I'll be so real with you guys, like, I really do fuck with Dante's default a lot. And, like, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about the Deluxe. Like, I don't know if that's gonna be for me, Haas. But I really do think that Dante has such a good default. Like, Not even just like, oh, it looks good as a default, but it is good for customization, unlike a certain couple Warframes. Like, it is plain enough that it looks good to customize. But it also has enough character in and of itself that it's really unique and well put together. It's such a fine line you have to ride between when, like, doing fashion. Or probably even designing Warframes in general. What is this shit? Why this is really... Yeah, why do I feel like we're gonna fail this first fucking wave? Because we are morons. Why aren't you dying? I swear, something about, fucking Tragedy has felt like it just doesn't work these days. Maybe I'm just, like, making shit up, but it feels so much weaker than it ever used to be. And that, in and of itself, is truly a tragedy. Like I said, I feel like I'm just, like, gaslighting myself. It's because I only use it in, EDA, ETA, where, like, there's bullshit going on. Like, it feels way weaker because of that. Yeah, like, they're taking more damage in this, in fact. So that feels weird, you know? Also, my god, Flare is going to die. Oh, time to refresh. And we might make out of this one. I have Exterminate, which is like super whatever. And we have to deal with the tank, which just takes forever. So we should be fine, for the most part. Emphasis on should be. Oh my god, bro, what is happening? There is just chaos happening, chat. And frankly, I don't even know what to believe anymore. Like, I'm just spraying and praying with this 4 at this point. Hoping that I hit people with the tragedy. We have one last wave. I hope we can live this. Can't see the fucking balloons. Damn it. We gotta keep Flare alive. We're almost there. Wait, how did they get so much healing? I swear that they were like 10k lower in terms of health. What the fuck happened? Some magical bullshit. Okay, there we go. Cool. That was the annoying part out of the way. Nothing else matters now. I shouldn't say nothing else matters, but... I think I gotta have, like, the least amount of armor ever at the rate that he goes through it. Also, that person in our squad is a Armored Core player. Giga Chad. Raven 621, whatever the fuck it is. But Armored Core is really such a good franchise. It's a shame that, like, the rest of the franchise is not, like, super easily accessible. I don't know if, like, the earlier titles are on Steam or somewhere. I would hope that they are. But it's also FromSoft, and FromSoft is not really the best about making sure all of their titles are available to play at any given point. So, that way you will. Back up we go, charging up the fucking green bar. And that was a fast exterminate. Maybe that'll make up for the fact that, the tank is gonna take 12 fucking years. As it usually does. Deadpool is cleaning house with children. As God intended. Today now. Great. Waiting on the one dude I see. Wiggle, 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 wiggle. I barely bumped into that truck, and yet it like, exploded. I don't think that's how that works, but you know what, man? Sure. It is kind of weird seeing, like, regular-ass cars and vehicles in this game. It also really puts into perspective how fucking big Warframes are. Like, if these are, like vehicles, right? Like, Warframe's gotta be, like, 7 or 8 feet tall. It's kind of ridiculous. Like, these fuckers are massive. It's like, I'm sure Dante floating doesn't help. You know? Here, I'll go bring out the melee and stand next to him. Like, this is a particularly tall one, too. Hang on. Let's go back to the other one. Like this one. No, it wasn't this one. It was this one right here. Yeah, no, like, if I bring out the melee, like, I'm still, like, notably taller than this car. And it's like, this is, like, a particularly, like, tall-looking car, too. So, I don't know, it really just begs the question, like, Warframes are fucking massive, man. We still not done the barrier? I thought we just did one. Maybe we didn't, I'm just, like, poked out of my mind. How are you so fucking tanky, dude? I really don't understand it sometimes. There we go, that's what I need. The Birds. Does anyone here actually ever watch The Birds by Alfred Hitchcock? I know it, like, that's like such an old movie that it's one that you really have to go out of your way to watch. I have watched it. Oh, I remember watching it when I was in school, actually. But I don't remember as much about it. It was really cool to get to watch it in school, like watch something like that in school. I think it was like part of an English class or whatever, just like learning about like film and like film storytelling, something like that. I don't really remember how it all, what the whole context was. At least it's the easy version of the tank and not stupid, rocket idiot version. It's got that would be annoying. Also, wow, we're almost done with our EDA, ETA, and we're not even like an hour into the stream. Holy fuck. This has been a really fast weekly. where you have to hit the weird Probis guy. I do like how the tank becomes more animalistic when you get to this phase. Like, like just pure aesthetics and design-wise, I do think the tank is actually a really good boss. Like, I think this shit pretty good. All alive. Tank is dead. Huzzah. We did it, Reddit. I said, wow, that was a short, like, weekly cycle. Normally we're, like, an hour and a half into the stream by the time I finish. That's crazy. I guess that just means we're gonna go farming now. Well, yeah, that actually depends on if Descendia is worth doing this week. Descendia is such an interesting weekly because, like, it's not worth doing every week, but it is something that is still worth doing sometimes. Like, sometimes the rewards are decent. Alright, let's go look at what we have instead. Let's actually go look at it before we... Descendia... Well, I didn't ask for this. I didn't ask for this. Amp Arcane, Eddie Boost. I suppose. There's also... important. It is a base combination for operators that I cannot seem to remember where I have placed it. Where did it go? Here somewhere. I think it's here. I hope so. Where did I put it though? Is the bookmark. Now I have to do this the hard way. Somewhere. Because I've been trying to figure out a really good combination, or like face blend rather, for the drifter, right? And I saw a good one, but I don't remember where the fuck I put it. Here it is. Oh wow, that's the dumbest numbers possible. Okay, good, great, fucking fantastic. I'm just gonna copy this person because I don't want to figure it out for myself. Oh, excuse me. The dumbest shit you've ever seen, chat. Guess what the other one is? 6-7. There we go. What else did they? An M3. There we go. This is Jink I don't care about. But anyways, there's a really funny comment where it's just Reb saying, "What? How?" I'll post this in the Discord for those who give a shit. But it's just such a funny thing. It's like, girl, you made the game. What do you mean, how? I just needed to do that because I was... Also, every time I do that, my fucking Signa messes up on that. Any Warframe, really. Very strange bug. But not one that is harmful. It's just a temporary thing. Once I actually go somewhere, it corrects itself. Ugh. Fuck it, let's take Uriel. I haven't done anything with Uriel in a while, so... Why not? Let's go and have fun! Oh, we're just dying immediately. Great. Good luck, buddy. Center of the map I go. Cover it. That bitch is gonna die tonight. Yum yum. There they go. To the furnace. Why am I on fucking fire? What is giving me this glow? I actually have no idea. I know this is probably like a buff from another Warframe or something, but like, where is it coming from? Whose mans is this? Cook 'em alive. Alright, out we go, I guess. How many of y'all have seen, like, Marvel content? Out of sheer curiosity. Cause I know that, like, Disney Marvel has some contention to it. Clear everyone out, get out of here. Go home. Comes all my kills, buddy. Like, what, like 20 kills at once? Just finish that off immediately. Beautiful. I wonder if my meter goes up passively. I actually have no idea. I would have to test for that. Surely, right? Kill them all, 1,000,000 dead enemies. Completely unnecessary wall of death. Why are we like this? Need to pull up the nuke button. Surely he'll die from this, surely. Surely he'll die from this, surely. There we go. Cleaned out. Anyways, the reason I bring up like Disney Marvel is Punisher. Punisher is like I have watched a lot of the Marvel catalog from Disney. I think some of it's okay. Like the whole Avengers saga, like the whole Infinity War saga is alright. I don't think it's anything exceptional, personally. I said some of the content's pretty alright, but I think the one exception I would have to that is Daredevil and Punisher, especially Punisher. Both of them are really, really fucking phenomenal pieces, and I think they are, if anyone understands, they are like the Andor equivalent in Marvel, for those of you who like Star Wars. Like, they're like the pieces of media that are like genuinely thought-provoking and have like well put together plot lines and characters that aren't just like whip slop. Go find and kill somebody so I can do the thing. Save it for the next wave, I guess. My big boy nuke. Boop. Big nuke. Everyone die. Go away. Good night. Yeah. They resistant to fire damage or something? I feel like that should have killed, like, everything ever. Right? Like, there's no way, right? Like, this guy should be dead, right? He just took like 300 fucking Firefox to the face, and yet somehow he lives. Hey, why won't you die? What the fuck? Why are you so hard to kill? That was really bizarre. Come on, stay with the group. Oh. Up, down we go. Bada boop. I wonder what they're gonna do for augments on Uriel. I'm very curious to know, like, when we are getting more Warframe augments. I would really like to see ones for Dante. What other Warframes don't have augments yet, actually, now that I think about it? I don't think Sight has one, I don't think Dante has one. Who else doesn't have augment yet? I actually have no idea. Dante, Uriel, Sight... obviously have Flare. Flare does not have one. Please be a Pyrotechnics augment. I'm begging you on my knees, pleading. And they all go poop. Alright, everyone dies. Out, out, everyone out. Toasty, toasty. I love seeing number go up whenever I press that button. It's quite funny. I hope my weekend was bad. Yeah, it was terrible. Thanks, bro. Hope you had a shit one too, bud. What's really bad, though, is these fucking guys. Like, they're not even, I would say, like, a detriment. They're just a minor annoyance. It's like, that casting time is diabolical. Especially in a game mode where you need to be mobile with the Astroglobe. Or Astrolabe, whatever the hell it is. That's why. Reserved for using aka a meta slave frame? Yeah. Whatever, man. I have 20,000 hours. No. I am not a new player. I have been playing since I think would be December 2017 is when I started. In 5 frames I use Limbo and Naros, Dante, Frost occasionally. Well, Frost is pretty rare these days. Nyx, I really do like Nyx. Yeah, Limbo and Naros are the main ones. Nyx is pretty frequent. I like Atlas as well. Atlas is pretty fun. Yeah, although I don't really care about the label either way, because, like, one, this isn't a competitive game, so who gives a shit? The term metaslave really doesn't mean anything when it is an entirely cooperative experience. I like Uriel for this this mode in particular. I mean, he's probably obviously designed for it, but with a lot of frames, a lot of them feel like they have a certain ramp up that just isn't really, how do I say this? Like, it isn't really encouraged to play frames that have, like, somewhat of a ramp up in modes like this, where you're constantly on the move. Or, like, frames that might, you know, want to be rooted to a single spot, Nidus, for example. I mean, not that anyone is playing Nidus right now, mind you. That rework is long overdue. And it looks, the rework for Nidus looks really, really good. I am excited to see how it feels. Again, the big, I guess, breakpoint for that rework is whether or not his one actually feels good to cast. Because that's kind of his big problem right now, is that his one is really, really bad on frame data. Like, it's very weird to talk about frame data in Warframe, but, like, he's one of the few Warframes where it genuinely does matter so much, because just the way that his one works and the way that it casts is so laggy. because it has to complete its full cast animation before it can be cast again, and casting speed really doesn't help with that. The only way to spam cast as one as it currently stands is to either be against the wall or have or you reduce his range, which is really terrible, because why would you do that? Minus range is such a terrible idea. Nidus is not good at all. Like, the thing is with Nidus is that his 1 doesn't do enough damage, his larva is okay, his 3 is limited in range, his ability to actually tank things isn't all that great, like, especially now that Persistence is out, it's kind of a question of, oh, why would you not just play a Naros at that point? Because guns are going to kill faster than his 1. One of his best attributes, Larva, is a subsume. Damage reduction doesn't really matter when Persistence is a thing. Like, even in a solo environment, I just don't think Nidus has the tools to thrive at higher level content anymore. Like, he really crutches on Persistence himself, but again, as he currently stands, he's just a worse Inaros. Like, there are a couple minor benefits that, like, he does have innate health regen, but it's only, like, what, like 15 per second, which is not much in the, in the, grand scheme of Warframe. What do you mean nerf his Spectre? In what sense? I don't think they would. Like, using his Spectre for, damage reduction, I guess, seems pretty good. I suppose, yeah, using it for its boost. I suppose that's like one of like the 2 use cases for Spectres. It's like him and the Dante Spectre to give yourself free Overguard is pretty decent. I remind myself the shiny odd of a known Pokemon Fire Red and the Green. They nearly had a brain aneurysm doing so. Bob-on's Vector Pads? I suppose. What about shiny odds for unknown? Pokemon Fire Red? What are we talking about, Tara? Are the odds different in Fire Red? For some reason? Some spaghetti-coated reason? Yeah, I feel like the Bob-on rework was kind of a miss, honestly. I feel like they really could have done more for him, but they didn't. In damage, lose 2 health. What the fuck? Can I choose neither of these? Wow, both of those actually suck. At least that 2 health per second only applies when you're wall launching us, and 99% damage reduction. That sounds pretty good. Oh, this is hard to control. I really shouldn't have brought the book for this. Oh, that's weird. I've actually never heard about that. I wonder why that is. That's so bizarre. Yeah, like I said, I think the Vauban rework was like actually one of the few in recent memory that just feels like a miss. Like, I feel like they just didn't do enough to help him, or they could have done just more. Because like I feel like he has the damage now. The problem is that they gave him like no survivability tools at all. Like they gave him like no real innate survivability. None that's relevant anyway. I feel like that's kind of a problem. I need energy. There we go. A similar reason to why Pokemon with multiple forms in Gen 3 have their own trainer and secret ID in the Pokedex, allowing the Pokedex itself to shiny hunt with Unknown and Spinda. The Pokedex itself can shiny hunt? What the fuck are we talking about? This is some deep lore that I was not familiar with in Gen 3. There's the weasel. I don't think this effect is supposed to be this intense, chat. I think that I'm having a bug. Yeah, that doesn't seem right. I don't think I'm supposed to have this giant fucking cloud at my feet. I don't think that seemed right. No, spaghetti code is definitely a good way to put that, Tara. How are you doing tonight, Tara? How are we? Outside of weird shiny hunting. Bested Oni. Oh, Nar. Again, like I said for Vauban though, it's like they gave him really good damage. Like that was definitely a hit. But again, I just feel like his survivability is really lacking. Like he really just needed something. Like something more than like the default tools. And it's like, well, I don't mind some frames being like a little bit squishier than others. I feel like Vauban having nothing just isn't it. I feel like every frame should have some sort of self-sustain at this point in the game's lifespan. And takes an on well, that's good. We're in the right place for that. And I wonder if this cloud at my feet is just gonna keep getting bigger. That's really funny. God, I hate them. Yes, I remember Banshee's base armor was super low at one point. I don't remember exactly when it was, but I think she does have, like, the lowest base armor in the game. If memory serves. Yeah, no, like I said, I think every frame should have at least some sort of self-sustain, or, like, the ability to, like, keep themselves up. Because, like, Uriel's such a good example of that. Like, he has his Remedium, which is, like, it's not invincibility or damage reduction or anything. It's just a full heal that he can spam, and it's like, you just have to be on top of that. And it's like, yes, that makes him technically squishier because he doesn't really have any forms of good DR or anything, or overguard or anything like that. But just the fact that he has that gives him so much sustain off of it, and the fact that he has, like, decent base stats to cover that. Okay, so, like I said, yes, he is squishier, but he can still do something about it for him. I think Uriel is fine as is. I think he's a very well-designed frame. Very concise game plan. Lots of flexibility in his kit. I like Uriel a lot for the same reason I like Dante, which is the references to the Divine Comedy. Which is, for those of you who don't know, the Divine Comedy is an old piece of Italian literature from, I think, like, 1000 AD. It is where the original depictions of, like, the 9 layers of hell come from, essentially. You know, like it is the same media that Dante from Devil May Cry and Virgil had their names inspired from. It is a super influential piece of literature. It is technically a poem. Yeah, Limbo just need... Yeah, like, I actually do think that Limbo does need something. He doesn't need a lot, he just needs a little something. I disagree entirely with you on that. I think that is a load of shit. Because Limbo's tools, like him being in the Rift, still is filtering 99% of enemy damage. Now that we have ways to give him, like, shield... Like, you can just shield gate away, like, any of the Eximus damage. It's not like they can shoot you. They can only hit you with Eximus abilities through Rift. That's all that can do. His augment isn't even relevant. I'll show you what I'm talking about after this. Like, Limbo is in a fine state, he just has to work so much harder for what to, like, get what, like, most other frames get way easier. Like... No, I absolutely agree on that. I 100% agree with that. I actually do think Limbo is better than them. 100%. Because, like, his kit, you know, actually does something. Shocker. Yeah, I am not a fan of Rift Torrent builds. I just don't think them. My personal problem with Rift Torrent is that it exposes you to damage too much. You're constantly going in and out of the Rift, and, like, I have tried them, I have used them. I have, like, a 24 Malimbo Prime, and I have gone through every build I can think of, and I just don't like Rift Torrent at all. I think it is too, there's too much micromanagement you have to do. And, like, the damage is there, but your damage only extends as far as the abilities do, so your damage is still limited by your abilities. And you still have to go around and kill them with your weapons. It's not like throwing them in the rift immediately kills them. Like, there's just, like, this massive juggling act you have to do with it that exposes you to a lot of damage by going in and out of the rift constantly to banish enemies. So I'm really not a fan of Rift Torrent builds. Like, especially if you're going into much higher levels, though, it's like, oh, if you jump out of the rift for even a second, like, a stray enemy bullet can put you into, like, an enemy can 2-tap you. If you're at a high enough level. If abilities got the Rift Torrent bonus, then we were talking, because then it leads to the actual, what I think is the most viable way to build Limbo, which is, using Subsumes. Because Subsumes ignore Rift, and I think that that is the better way to play Limbo as it stands, personally. This effect is, like, really, really laggy. Because I know it's not supposed to be like this. Yeah, after we kill Roth here, I'll go flex the Limbo build in a survival. Show you what I'm talking about. And also to keep enemies in the rift, there's like so much... Oh. We did not do his thing fast enough. Well. Sometimes I forget that he can do that to you. Like, every couple weeks, I'll be like, oh yeah, that's the thing that happened, and then I will remember it very distinctly. And since we're doing this, I can swap off of him. I don't feel like doing the real thing. But yeah, again, there's so much, like, wasted motion in, the Rift Torrent builds, I think, that I just don't like them. I think if there were, like, a couple different pieces of it, I would be a lot more okay with it. And Grace. Oh, that thing. More about that. Am I soloing Roth? I don't think I've ever soloed Roth before. Let's find out. Couldn't be that hard. Like, what is he going to do to me? Oh, hello, sir. Flip jump in the face. Go do your thing. Up into the center and forward you. There we go. Now he can't do it. Remedium is so comedically funny on Inaros, because, like, I can just get rid of everything and just never die with it. Oh, shit. He's doing his thing. There we go. Oh, what? No, what? Really? I could have sworn I got that. And that's on tape, too. Alrighty then. That was bizarre. Well, now we have a squad this time. Whatever. Alright, take 3. Third time's the charm, as they say. Play my minigame. I didn't know he could do his little minigame thing multiple times in a fight. That's interesting. Well, there we go. Alright, limbo time. After that, embarrassment. Alright, let's see here. I am on the correct build, Space Jam. We are good to go. Let's go find a survival. Maybe have a survival smile? Omnia? I don't want to do Omnia. But you know what? We'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. I don't know how well Limbo will perform in this, so... Alright, let's get her going here. Oh, there we go. A big bomb right there. Yeah, I need to get my buff up, don't I? I don't care if they're void survival fisher buff, whatever. Who cares? The press 4 machine has arrived. If only they dropped life support at a decent. That was always my problem with survivals. It's so DPS dependent, and it's like even if it's DPS dependent, you can also just get fucked by RNG by no fault of your own. It's like, motherfuckers are dying. It's just a matter of how fast. Like I said, I much prefer this build to Riptorn because it's so much safer. There's some life support. Not Crayola Taste Tester. Yeah, can I have that back, sir? Being a little sassy Susan. I need to get him up because he is important. This Hound is so important to this Limbo build. Because it gives me free Overguard for no reason. There we go. Now we're cleaning house. Really, that guy will die soon. Probably activate one of these. Currently, as it stands, I think Pyrotechnics is one of his best abilities. Also, he just gets Overguard for no reason because of the Hound. I don't know how the Hound does it, but he just gets Overguard for nothing. And I still cannot decipher it to this day. Also, Acolytes don't last very long against him either. Gotta find his ass. They get hit well enough. Some of that. I mean, ring around the rosy with him. I have no idea what the fuck it was. You need to go, so that's what's hitting me. See, yeah, like, Eximus hit him, but, like, that's all you have to worry about in terms of getting damage, and it's really easy to tell when an Eximus is hitting you. And again, especially because the Hound can give me Overguard for nothing, or if you just get Overguard from any source, like a secondary fortifier, it really just kind of nullifies having to worry about them at all. Because you just have two gates that they have to get through in terms of them damaging you. There they go. Yeah, see, I'm getting like little bits of Overguard here and there, as you can see. I have like 72 up there. I don't know where that comes from. I could not tell you. Like, the amount of damage you can stretch out of a single subsume is honestly something that impresses me. Like, you can take it and you can get so far with it to have it just be a primary damage source if you really push it far enough. Look at all that. That's so much life support, so much health, ammo, whatever. He can bank it all so he never, like, overcaps on life support. Like, even though we're kind of below threshold for DPS, like, because he doesn't have to overcap on life support, it actually does, I think, help him in the long term. You can just Yeah, the Arcane Arachne buff really helps it a lot, too. Just having that extra, like, what is it, like, 150% damage on deck just to, like, just for wall latching and having that for 30 seconds. Really, really powerful. I think it really helps push the damage of Pyrotechnics a lot. Ooh, get him with that. Get him with that. Got the Jade Light deal right there. Said even some of like the stronger enemies though, he can really just kind of ignore some capacity. Like the Necromechs running around, like he doesn't really have to deal with them at all. I just always need to make sure that that buff stays active. Or else I am, quite frankly, hooked. Yeah, and Acolytes too. Acolytes also just get bodied by this. And they also can't hurt me either, really. There I go getting Overguard for no fucking reason. Those electrical motherfuckers, those are the ones that scare me a lot because they can hit you a lot in rapid succession. And they are probably, like, the most dangerous to Limbo. Like, Jade Lights are easy enough to avoid. Last ones, it's like, okay, they eat your Overguard, who cares? Like I said, like, those aren't the scary ones. Probably hit a life support. Come on, don't be shy. There we go, we hit the, only a matter of time before a slightly stronger subsume comes out. This is in fact the Relic. That is a 2x Forma blueprint, which I would really like to have. So I'm quite short on Forma. Although I really do wish that, like, I think one of the biggest things that would help Limbo is the ability to pick up stuff through the rift. I think that that would be one of the things that I would put on the retouch if he ever does get it. I also like using the Jakkur because I can just like go into Nully Bubbles, pop the Nully with a one tap, and then get out before my Rolling Guard runs out. Keeps me the safest. Again, I don't know where the fuck I'm getting this Overdrive from. Like I said, I can just walk in, pop him a couple times, then get out. Oh, ability range and strength has doubled. Oh boy. Oh, joyous days, chat. Just cook their asses immediately. But you know, all it takes is doubling his attributes to have actual good DPS. If that's something. Look at that, just fucking... just walls of fire now. The thing is, the amount of pillars that come out, change with power strength. That's like the really relevant piece of it. So I'll probably leave at the 15-minute mark, because this does hurt my hands to do for an extended period of time. Or I'd rather not hurt my hand. Because it is quite a repetitive, game flow. Because he needs to be so stressed over hitting DPS. At least in a survival setting. You know, like I said, this is just how you leverage his invincibility. Like, Malice can't do shit to me. Just chilling. I said constantly casting also keeps my shield gate up. Is a huge, huge help. Like I said, he struggles a little bit with the DPS, but like he still clearly functions and like does what he wants to do. This setup. That melee because I don't like him. He looks ugly. Killing that Nully like it's a hate crime. You need to go. That Jakkur is good for just taking out problem children. Or just sit around for too long and you can't do anything about it. Either the abilities don't hit them, or you need them gone faster, and such other things. Yeah, that is the Limbo build as it currently stands. I'm holding out hope that we eventually get a better subsume that he can use. Really hope so. Anything. Before this, it was Gyre's, Gyre's whatchamacallit. Her subsume with the augment. That was pretty effective. But this is heat, and heat has a lot more application as a damaging. It's a base electricity versus base heat. Oh. Go find an actual lobby. I don't have to do that. You can do Nixon chill. We can, you know, we can still do the Omnia Fisher. Why not? Why the hell not? I love you, auto hack. Repairs on very cool. Need like a good room. This work, yeah, this will. Go do a crime. Get his ass. Oh, do a crime. Oh, wait, hang on. I want... Oh, yeah, there we go. That's how we go do a crime. Actually shoot them, please. I swear, the rates of drop for life support and survival are so ass. It really does suck. I wish it didn't. Yeah. Not under the Fisher buff. Damn it, I wanted that. Have shit in the tree. Fuck you. Too much. Contagious Bond is such a disgusting mod. It's really gross for me. Now we're starting to see. Colossus Prime handle. Poisson. Latch on Incarnate is also just really disgusting for no. I think I don't know if, like how popular this weapon is, but I swear I don't see it as much as I need a new slave. Like 7 ammo. That's a nuke. That should kill everybody. Really weird how it seems to kill some of these guys, but not others. And like they all seem to be at like comparable health values. So like it really begs the question like what the fuck's going on? Bombards are so broken for this. Like they really just make doing this strategy so brain dead easy. Because the rockets just hit for so much. 500,000 to 1 million per hit. Pretty damn good. I swear, there always seems to be like the Void Fisher reaction whenever I actually go to pop my bubble, so it doesn't kill as many as it should. I have a give me something good. Oh, I don't want to use one of these basic berries. I mean, like, Palervins are not terrible, they're just not the best. I say as he hits for 3 million damage. Don't know where he got that from. Also almost killed Angst with that pop. Alright, that definitely kills him, I guess. Give me like a good Eximus or something. Throw at people. That was a bit of a preemptive pop. Well, I guess the problem with Palervins as your mind control target is that they're just like so weird to fire and are always accurate. I think that Bombards are really, really busted because of how much damage they can do in a single hit. It's like the rate of fire for your targets matters. You really have to think and choose when getting your, getting the one that you want. Oh, that's a pop. That. Oh, ability strength and range. Huge. There they all go. Now we're really starting to see Nuke. Not had to touch a life support capsule yet, so that's good. Look at this guy. Pop this. Yeah, by the way, fun fact, Nyx does not have line of sight check. So make of that information while you're... It's just completely is ignorant of it. Some godforsaken reason. Where's my, Yeah, Nyx just also being completely invincible while doing this is kind of the icing on the cake. Like, not only does she have such an insane nuke in her back pocket, but also the fact that her bubble is just so nice. Like, I genuinely don't know why people hate this thing. You just have to, like, play it a little bit differently is all. I think this is my main thing about her bubble. Like, understand how it works fundamentally, where you can and can't go, what you can and can't do with it. Anyways, that's another 10 million. Get no life support out of that bomb. What the fuck is dog shit? Absolute abysmal dog shit. Love seeing other enemies get cooked by the Jade Lights. It's so funny. Like, how the fuck are you liking, huh, bitch? We're coming back up on life support, and again, I have not touched a, one of the doohickeys at all. The life support columns, whatever you want to call it. Pillars. Where's my Forma, dude? Give me the 2x Forma, please. I kinda need it, bro. I'm homeless. My Forma stack homeless, bat. Oh, that's a nuke. I just saw 7 million flash on my screen. I'm like, yep, time to detonate. Ain't nothing surviving that. The funny thing is you can actually mind control acolytes and necromechs. The problem is that when you do, the duration for which they can be mind controlled is basically halved. Here, I'll demonstrate. It's like, okay, now I have it at that, and then it's going to kick down a lot faster. But you get so much damage out of it with it being a necromech as well. So that was the showers that I'd like. Ah, damn it, that was a bombard. Fuck. Oh, I wanted this thing. Ooh, what about you? What about you? There you go. Be gay, do a crime. Oh, do crime. Kill them. 4 million? Wow. Amazing. Alright, we're back up at life support max. With no capsules. Like I said, it just requires some ramp up. Oh, where is he? There he is. Get out of here. Just nuke him for 9 million. That'll solve the thing. That bombard does not fuck around, does he? I'll take the Blitz X in it. I'm sure he's got some. We'll continue on the Bombard legacy. We gotta be getting a Forma here eventually. Hopefully, eventually. I want you. I want you. I want you. I want you as a new recruit. I have no idea how much the Eximus damage is going to do. The blast wave. Not very much, it looks like. Oh, there they go. Populates the loser. Kina Prime again. I had that for dinner last night. I have 3 of these relics. Yeah, watch, I'm gonna get a fucking gold before I get a single double forma. I will bet my life on it. Save my big boy nuke, but win the Acolyte. Look at that. Eats half of their health. Oh, a bombard? Yes, please, bro. Yes. Oh, my son, commit crime. Play the ball. Ability range and strength have doubled. Oh good. Gonna go, what a champion. And we're back up at basically max life support. Way to go, Nyx. That bombard's probably gonna expire soon. I want to take advantage of the fissure buff here. Oh, that's 19 million. That's just gonna kill everything. Besides that void ring. That just did so much damage. That was a 20 mil nuke. Look at all that life support. There we go. That's what we're looking for. I have so much free overshields just from running around with the without actually getting hit and using Simulate. You know, I'd really like an augment for Frost's Snow Globe to put the Snow Globe on himself. I think that would make Snow Globe way better of an ability. Oh, that would make Snow Globe kind of insane. almost forgot to put my shit. Oh, you, perfect. That's not what I clicked on, bro. Hey, there's my Forma. 41 crafted. Got an X1. We'll go 2 more rounds. Oh, there we go. Pop those people. Infinity again? I guess. Get out of here. You know what? There's a Warframe based around Fisher buffs. I think that would be pretty cool. Being able to select a Fisher buff for yourself, I think would be sick as fuck. And like have that like be on a Warframe. Maybe I would be like slightly better than Fisher's, just so there's like some difference. But like I think that would be really cool. Yeah, no, a Void Fissure frame sounds really fucking cool now that I think about it. That would actually be really hype. Imagine he has an ability that makes you open a relic instantly. Like, he could crack relics in normal mission. That would be so busted. I need a new minion. Nothing good. Give me a good minion. You have Jade Light at least, so you can like do that. Oh, you are what I need. Yes, you are my son. My life support is everywhere. Almost to the next rotation. Do need to go. I don't know how they survive these blasts sometimes. Kinda does boggle the mind. Get out. The other thing about the Bombard that makes him like the optimal buddy is that, like, not only do they do so much damage, like, that is also killing enemies for you, like, properly. Like, he's also kind of an auto turret as well. Oh yeah, that's a 9 million. Like he is an auto turret in and of himself and also fueling your nukes. You know what, maybe that's a good video to make, is a Nyx, enemy tier list. That would be fun. Like, Jade Lights are probably, like, in this weird middle tier where it's, like, they're not broken, but they're not super... But they're not bad at all. Like, they're just kind of this nice middle ground of, like... Oh, well, if I have nothing else, I can just take this Jade Light and, like, he's going to do just fine. Just because the Jade Light has this kind of flat, couple million damage bomb that you can throw at people. Pretty constantly. Like, you need to leave. Like, that Jade Light laser beam nuke can really do damage on its own pretty effectively. Enough to fill up your gauge. If he'll ever do it. Why he refuses. Those most... Oh, there he goes. Now we can see the damage ramp up. Yeah, that went up all the way to 7 million in one go. Off of just the Jade Light ramp up. So yeah, Jade Lights are pretty fucking powerful for getting your damage going. Like, if it hits those last couple ticks, those last few ticks do so much damage for you. See, there they go. 2 million. Yeah, 2 million was pretty good for that. It's just a matter of how frequently will they decide to use their Jade Light ability. And like that really like can determine how effective they'll be. I know, yeah, my thing is doing its thing. Just, Contagious Bond is so stupid. That shit ridiculous. Go do a crime. Once this rotation is done, then we'll tag out here. And be done for the evening. I'm getting a little sleepy. Sleepy little guy. EBs and Neebies to sleepy. The Mibsile sleepy go bed by time, whatever the fuck. Damage reduction, that idiot. Yeah, buffing with Nyx as well is so important using... yeah, like I said, I could make like a Nyx guide. Get his ass. Get his ass. Hook him. Terminal neutral. I swear whenever I decide to pop, it's always when that void Fisher probably like goes off like immediately before. I swear they fucking planned that shit. They're out to get me, chat. It is a conspiracy. What are you doing up there? Put down something. Here's the expectancy. Another nice part about Nyx is I can just fly, but yeah, no, I think that would actually be a really good video. It's a really in-depth guide about how to play Nyx. I think that she does have like a lot of like nuance to her that's not always immediately to grasp as to why she's a lot of subtleties going on. Yeah, I think that might be something worth doing. I will see you all in the future. Maybe later this week, maybe not, I don't know. But have a good night, everybody.